Today is Friday the 19th. It's about 8 o'clock right now. And if you can't tell, I am in a new place. This is my apartment in Sweden, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I just went on my first run today in Sweden. It was about 10 degrees Fahrenheit, so it was freezing, but overall it was a pretty good run. During the run with Pat and I felt like I started to think about the impact that running has had on me for the past year and a half or 2 years or so, and maybe want to make this video to talk about running as a whole, how it's impacted me, as well as why I felt like I, early on in my life, really disliked running and why many of you guys probably hate running as well. So yeah, I want to talk about three main reasons probably why you are disliking running and the changes that you can make to help maybe improve your outlook on running and maybe start logging some of the first miles in 2024. For me, I started officially doing distance running probably about 3 years ago during the summer of my freshman year. And even then, I felt like I was running into a lot of the same problems that I'm going to talk about now. So I'm going to talk about some of the Strava runs that I went on in the summer of my freshman year, kind of point out some difficulties or some flaws that I noticed in them. And overall just hit on some main points about why I didn't like running back then, why you probably don't like running now, and some of the changes that you can make to improve your outlook on running. And I'm gonna end the video kind of talking about, in general, some things that really get me excited about running and why I've actually really fallen in love with running and distance running as a whole now. First point that I want to talk about is running without a goal or running without a purpose. It can be very difficult to have serious levels of discipline and dedication when you have no goal in mind. You know, it's really easy to blow off a run and, you know, when there's bad weather outside or it's too cold or your stomach feels weird or something like that, it's really easy to blow off a run when there's nothing riding on it. And for me, what ended up changing was signing up for my first race. In the spring of 2023, I ran the Champaign-Urbana half marathon with my twin brother, Patrick. And for me, it was a big difference of anytime that there was terrible weather outside or I did legs the day before, and my legs were like dog tired. It was the idea of not being able to cross the finish line with Pat, or cramping up in the middle on mile 6 or mile 7 or mile 12 and having to walk the rest of the half marathon, that maybe get out of bed or get off the couch and go put in the miles that I needed to. So I feel like having a goal in mind can really help you build discipline and motivation to keep running consistently and stick to your goals in the first place. So picking a goal can come in a variety of ways. Obviously, signing up for a race can be a great way to put a goal in mind or put something on a calendar, but signing up for races, especially like bigger races, can be very costly. Signing up for marathons or half marathons isn't cheap for sure. But if you can put pen to paper a serious goal that you want to have by the end of the year that's very achievable, realistic, and detailed, like that is another good way to put accountability to it. Maybe you want to increase the amount of cardio that you have for your workouts, or maybe you want to, be able to run a 7:30 mile by the end of the year. Having these clear goals in mind that you can work incrementally each day to contribute to it is huge for me, and I think that's one of the first reasons that many people dislike running. The second reason that you probably don't like running is pretty simple. You're probably running too hard or too fast. I know me personally, I was definitely running too fast for the fitness level or the cardio level that I had at the time. I'm looking at literally my first runs on Strava. So my first run came on July 14th, 2021. I ran a 2.5 mile run at a 9:30 pace, which is actually not that bad. I feel pretty good about that. The second run that I had was a 2 mile run at an 8:11 pace. The fifth run that I had on July 25th was a 2.5 mile run at a 7:26 pace. I know the mindset that I was in at these times when I was running. I felt like every run that had to go out, I needed to improve on the time that I was running at, and it needed to be fast. I wanted to finish, when I got back to my house, I wanted to feel like I had put in some serious effort into the run that I had. I wanted to be able to collapse on the couch knowing that I did something good. Running hard like that, and running seriously, pushing yourself every single run is a great way to get burned out or dissatisfied with running as a whole. This feeling of fear and angst when you want to go out for a run is probably one of the main reasons that people don't like running to begin with, thinking about how tired or how terrible you're going to feel throughout the whole run. In general, it's a good idea to run 80% of your runs on the week at an easy pace. And understanding what an easy pace is a very hard thing to do. An easy pace is slower than conversational. So if you're running, you should be able to have a conversation with no pauses in your speech, just as if you were talking to somebody pretty much standing still. And this, for many people, especially myself, when you start, is painfully slow. but it's this painfully slow running that you want to be able to do, not only to build up cardiovascular base, but also to build up your mental discipline to actually go out there and run for a long time. This journey that you're going on, you're looking to going on with running, is your own personal journey, and comparison is often the thief of joy and the thief of satisfaction, which is a great quote. The progress that you are making is not linear, and it's a slow growth throughout your running journey. Not every day you're gonna hit a PR on a mile or 5K or 10K, right? But every day or every time you go out and run, you should, to some extent, enjoy being out there. And that's the main thing with running. You were trying to make this shift away from making running a chore or a serious form of exercise, turning running into something that you actually enjoy and are willing to go out and do. The last point that I want to talk about with why you are struggling with running or why you don't like running in the first place is you're probably running by yourself or running without a partner. This kind of hits on the running with no goal or running with no purpose as well. But for many, when you're running by yourself, it is very easy to make concessions or qualify your run that you're going on, right? You get out and run and you realize like, oh, I don't feel as good as I thought I was. Let's just run 7 miles, or let's cut the pace back by half a minute, right? For me, I'm thankful enough to have the twin brother, Patrick, who is my best friend in life. He means a lot to me. It's Pat who can knock on my door and say, hey, we gotta go running today, and vice versa. It's a dual system, right? We both push each other to get out and run and have this accountability partner to push yourself to run. I know for many of you this might be difficult to actually find a running partner, whether or not you have a twin brother or maybe you don't have people in your area who are nearby who you can go run with. One advantage that we have today is running is a very social thing. There's plenty of options to be able to find, whether through Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. There's a million ways to find people who are interested and have a passion for running. So to the best of your ability, find some way to connect with other people and hold each other accountable for running. And once you're able to have this accountability partner and this accountability system, it can really help you develop motivation and interest in running in the first place. One last bonus tip is to get an actual pair of running shoes. You gotta stop running in the pair of shoes that you've had for like 3 years now, where you can pretty much bend the entire shoe in on itself. You should buy a pair of running shoes. You can go to a running store and ask them to fit you, but you don't necessarily need to do that. You should just buy a pair of running shoes for like $100 or whatever price range that you can do, but a pair of dedicated running shoes, it makes a huge difference, not only for like feeling better when you run, but also like not getting injured. I feel like the early times that I was running, I was like hurting and busting up my knees all the time. So get a pair of running shoes, even if you feel like this is just a hobby. When you start running, you should have a good pair of running shoes to stay healthy. All
right. One thing for me, running has become something that I'm able to stay like motivated about and interested in to continue progressing. I feel like since graduating high school, playing sports in high school, you don't have an athletic or competitive release really in your life. So having an activity that I can put down on paper and see myself grow and advance, and I feel like has been really big for me. Having something when I was training for a half marathon or a triathlon, something that you can like get in the gym and like work at, I feel like is really beneficial for me, because you end up putting a lot of time in your career in school. Like for me, like a lot of hours programming, but I don't care that much about, I'm not as passionate about programming as I am about like athletics or working hard in like running or something. It's like, I'll never care as much about C++ as I do about, football or the Chicago Bears, right? So having something that I can be athletic and competitive about that isn't school or isn't professional career, I feel like is super beneficial for me. For me, running has also become somewhat like meditative. Being like here right now with nobody in the woods right now, and being alone with nature, like it's very, very cheesy, but it is somewhat meditative to like kind of release your mind and think a little bit about like what's going on in your life. It really helps clear your mind, kind of like when you're in the shower and you have a very clear mind. I feel like it's a similar thing for me, or it's somewhat meditative. So I feel like there's a lot of qualities that I've really enjoyed with running that has changed over the years that I appreciate. And then, just learning to kind of just, understanding that when you're getting out to run, it's a chance, kind of like in lifting, it's like a chance, you're setting aside an hour to not really like look at your phone, not really like worrying about anything. It's just like running. And I guess learning to appreciate and enjoy that. I feel like it was big for me to enjoy running as well. Even now, I'm taking a walking break during my run and not being worried about it, just like effing up my, fucking up my run. Just being okay with like, hey, being out here walking is nice. Maybe we'll see a deer. Learning to kind of just like be more okay with where you are at running and the journey that you're going on. I feel like it's important. And yeah, just kind of like learning to be out here and enjoying it. I think these are all things that I've come to like about running.
But yeah, that's about it I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you're able to find some nuggets of information from this video about my experience with running. To conclude, running I feel like has become something that I very much enjoy and kind of need in my life. I feel like running is a great way for me to release a lot of the stress in my life and really sit with my own thoughts. I think in a lot of ways running has made an enormous impact on my life, and I hope it can make an impact on your life as well. That's about all I got for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you found any value in this video, please remember to like and subscribe and share the video with other people and other runners as well. Yeah, hope you guys have a great day. All right, see ya.